Hi, my name is Bob Taylor, and I'm your host for this segment of Our Ventura TV. I'm here today with my guest, Marvin Fisher from the Herman Bennett Foundation. Marvin, it's great to have you here today.
Thank you, sir. It's great to be here.
Okay, the Herman Bennett Foundation, what's that all about?
So the Herman Bennett Foundation was founded in 1996 by Herman Bennett.
Okay, and who was Herman Bennett?
Well, Herman Bennett he loved cats, he loved dogs, animals in general. He had, over his lifespan, he had 20 cats.
Oh, wow, that's quite a few animals. You got to be quite the animal lover.
Oh, yes.
I love kittens. Cats are a little different story.
Yes.
I mean, dogs have owners, cats have staff. You know, the cats are a little tougher. So what does Herman Bennett have to do with the cats? What do you guys do?
So we give vouchers to low-income families who cannot afford to get their dog or cat spayed or neutered. The two veterinary hospitals we give vouchers to is Valley Vet in Simi Valley, strictly for feral cats, and then Mercy Crusade is in Oxnard.
Okay, so where do you get feral cats?
So feral cat trappers are volunteers. It's called trap and release. So if a resident will call the animal shelter and say, we have a stray cat in our neighborhood, they will call the trappers trap the cats, then they contact us and we give the vouchers for the procedure for the spay and neuter.
Okay, now how does that work with low-income families?
Well, if you have a dog or a cat and you can't afford to get your dog or cat spayed or neutered that you own, then we pay the full price, 100%, and we give our vouchers to Mercy Crusade and Oxnard.
Okay, so that's kind of two different segments of the things that you do.
Correct.
Okay, so what else do you guys do?
So we have 4 different programs at the Herman Bennett Foundation. Spay and neuter for low-income families. Feral cat program was the trap and release through the trappers. Just recently we started with military dogs after they get discharged from the military, and then the Ventura Police K9 unit, we started a program with those guys.
Oh no, let's get to the military dogs. Now, I've heard a lot about dogs that come back or that kind of thing for military to help and that kind of thing. And so how do you guys step into that? Do you do it for the PTSD dogs or?
Well, if a dog has been in the military and it gets discharged.
Okay, so a regular dog, just like in the military.
Yeah, and the dog will get discharged. They'll put the dog up for the adoption, or sometimes the handler that was in the services with the dog will adopt the dog.
So that's almost like the police dogs out there.
Correct.
Okay, so what do you do with the dog between military and getting him out for adoption?
Well, after the dog gets put up for adoption, if it has needs any type of surgery, we had a dog a few years back that had cancer. We help with chemo, so it all depends on the condition of the dog after it's adopted out.
Okay, and what was the fourth one? The fourth one was the police.
Yeah, Ventura Police K9 unit.
Okay, so do you work with the K9s on retirement, or do you work with them during the times they're with the police?
No, so the Ventura Police K9 dogs were bought and paid for by Land Rover Ventura, and they donate them to the Ventura Police K9 unit, to the Ventura Police Department, excuse me. And so now when the dogs have any kind of injuries or if they need any monies for x-rays or anything, that's where we come in and we'll hold fundraisers for them, and then the monies will go to help any type of medical.
Okay, now what kind of fundraisers do you guys?
Oh, so we have 4 fundraisers a year. The first one will be like in the beginning of the year, January or February. Mostly it'll be for adults. And then we'll have one.
And what do you do? Is it a barbecue? Is it a dinner?
If it's in February, it will be like a Valentine's dance.
Oh,
It'll be dinner and wine and dancing. So
it's some kind of formal thing for adults.
Exactly, for adults. And then we'll do one either in the spring or the summer for kids, like a train ride or maybe an Easter egg hunt or something like that.
And so you guys run the full gamut of people that can get involved or people that can come to support, like the kids or the adults or whatever.
Right, we'll run it, we'll have ads through our thrift store that we have.
Oh, thrift store, okay, we'll get into that in just a minute. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, so we'll have ads in the, flyers in the thrift store. Lots of customers who come into our thrift store, they'll go on our Facebook page and they'll see all the events that we'll have for throughout the year. We'll have a lot of volunteers come in and help us, so it gets really, really busy through the whole year with 4 or 5, sometimes 5 fundraisers through the year.
Okay, and do you have a website people can go to check
that out? Oh yeah,
so
if you want to even donate or be if you want to donate or if you would like to participate in some of the volunteering, you can just go to www.hermanbennettfoundation.org.
Herman Bennett Foundation. Okay, we'll get back more to that in a minute. Thrift stores. Let's talk about your thrift stores. How does that work?
So we opened a thrift store through the Herman Bennett Foundation. We're nonprofit, just like any other thrift store. We take donations, we do free pickups, we have a truck. We could give you a receipt if you donate anything. So lots of the donations that we get through the community really helps with most of the programs that we have through the donations, and selling stuff through the thrift store helps a lot.
Okay, so then that's all that money goes to the projects that you guys work on?
Most of it, or paying our rent, paying the employees, and things like that.
Right, okay, so what do you think, what of the programs you guys have, which one's your favorite?
I would say,
I know you're not supposed to say that, just like having kids, which one's your favorite?
I would say with the Ventura Police K-9 unit and the military dogs, but mostly the Ventura Police K-9 unit.
Okay, and I can see that, because that can really give a lot of warm fuzzies for that kind of thing.
Well, it's more like giving back to the community, because these animals protect the police officers. The police officers protect our community.
Right.
I'm a Ventura resident, so I think that's probably one of the best, and I really love that one.
Okay, let me get back to the previous thing. Feral cats. Where do you, I mean, you can't just sneak down on Main Street and pop a cage and say, hey, feral cat, go have a good time.
Well, you know, there are a lot of feral cats
Yes.
in neighborhoods.
Right.
And, you know, if a lot of people feed cats and they'll start multiplying, and that's one thing Herman Bennett was an advocate for, you know, keeping cats and dogs spayed and neutered and keeping the population of dogs and cats down. But with feral cats, they're basically wild cats,
Right.
and you know, people with not knowing, with not being educated on it, they would feed the cats, and the cats would multiply. So next thing you know, you have millions of cats everywhere.
Right.
And a lot of neighborhoods, you know, they'll call the animal shelter. Animal shelter will come out, or they'll contact the trappers. The trappers will come trap the cats. In order to keep the population down, they have to get them spayed or neutered, and that costs money. And so
Right.
that's where we come in.
Now, do you take the cat back to its same neighborhood so it's familiar?
Sometimes we will take the cat to the Ventura County Animal Shelter, and they'll put the cat up for adoption, or sometimes they will release the cat back into the wild.
Yeah, because not all feral cats can
Correct.
really be rehabilitated and back into adoption.
Correct. Some feral cats are just lost their home, or you know, couldn't find their way back, but they haven't been spayed or neutered.
Right. So those are the ones that are just got lost that really do need a good home, because they're not used to really living on the streets full time.
Correct.
Right, okay. All right, now let's talk about volunteers for a minute. You did say one of the important things you mentioned on your website was an opportunity to volunteer.
Yes.
You do a lot of events.
Yes.
You have a lot of cats.
Yes.
You have a lot on your plate.
Yes, I do.
How many volunteers do you think you use throughout the course of a year?
Throughout the course of a year, I would say each event, maybe 10 to 15 volunteers, so sometimes 50, 60 through the year.
And then plus your trappers and stuff.
Correct.
So you could be talking 100 you could have volunteers out there you don't even know, because those are the trappers.
Correct.
Okay, so that's great. So you get help from people that want to do other things, just to, not necessarily to help your group, but they just want to help the feral cats.
That's right, yes.
And you're the ones that pick up the slack so they can continue what they want to do, and that's take care of the feral cats.
Yes, a lot of these trappers, I mean, they're literally donating their own time to go out and catch the feral cats, the wild cats, and you know, that's where we come in to help them with the vouchers, so the cats can be spayed or neutered.
Okay, now you've already mentioned some collaboration, like the Ventura County Animal Shelters. You know, you collaborate with them when you get some cats or put them out, that kind of thing. Now, what happens if those guys are full? I mean, is there other people you can collaborate with to take care of some of the...
Well, there's other animal shelters, not just in Ventura County, also in LA County, but what we do, we give them the vouchers to pay for the procedure to get the cat spayed or neutered.
Oh, I see. Then the vouchers come back to you, and then you guys cover the cost of the vouchers.
Correct. That's exactly how it works.
Okay. Okay, now, we got about 5 minutes left. What haven't we talked about whatsoever that you think John Q. Public out there needs to know about?
Well, our thrift store is in Camarillo.
Okay.
It's at 601 Mobile, Units E and Unit
Oh,
L.
you guys just opened there a couple years ago.
Yes, a couple years ago. We're fairly new. We're still trying to, you know, get everything established. Shoppers. We really need a lot of people to come out, shop at the store. Every bit counts, because we have so many programs, and we have a lot of other things going on throughout the year other than, you know, fundraising and putting on events that would help keeping the thrift store open.
And now, do you take donations?
Yes, we do.
So people can come in your door with like a bag full of clothes and that kind of thing?
And we can write them a 501c3 receipt, because we are a nonprofit, just like most thrift stores, yes.
Now, one thing I do want to say for your benefit is that, and you can agree or disagree with me, but please don't bring in a bunch of garbage just because you can't get rid of it.
We have that a lot.
And so quite often the cost of getting rid of stuff.
Well, a lot of times we try to refurbish a lot of things.
Okay,
Stuff
so
that-
you actually do work on
Yeah,
stuff.
so some things that we can't refurbish, like mattresses, we will not take.
Right, okay.
Lots of wood furniture, metal stuff, we can paint, refurbish, add knobs to. Some electrical items we can kind of fix, work on, but mattresses are definitely a no.
Right, right. I mean, I don't think anybody wants somebody's used mattress.
No. We get a lot of bedding. If we get overstocked with bedding, we always take it to the animal shelter because, you know, there's always where they can use the bedding for the animal shelters.
Right, okay, so, but things that are broken, you know, slightly broken, you guys can repair and stuff.
If we're capable of, if it's something that we can fix, we'll try to fix it. So we try to recycle everything.
That's a lot better than a lot of the thrift stores. A lot of thrift stores, if you got a broken leg on something, it's just garbage.
Yes.
Or they got to sell it with a broken leg.
Yes, we try to get creative. Sometimes we'll get a table, it might have a broken leg or chip paint. You know, we'll try to sand it down and paint it, refurbish it, and sometimes we'll turn something into new and make it look a lot better than what it was when we first got it.
And that can make some of your thrift store people actually feel quite useful when they can put something together and refurbish something that was designed for the garbage to start with, and then get it back out there in John Q. Public.
That's absolutely right.
All right, so what's that address again of your thrift store?
It's 601 Mobile Avenue in Camarillo, Units E and Unit L. We're only closed on Mondays. Sundays we're from 10 to 4, excuse me, and then Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 6.
Okay, great. Now, when people get on your website, what are they going to see when they first get there?
Well, so when they get on the Herman Bennett Foundation website, they'll see a lot of activities, a lot of the fundraising that we did throughout the year. We always post pictures and events.
Okay, great.
If we have any upcoming events, there'll be like a little calendar where they can sign up and see what event we're doing. There's all kinds of donation buttons on our website. So if you want to donate to feral cats, if you want to donate to the animal shelter, if you want to donate to a military dog that we're helping out, there's different ways that you can donate to a specific program that we have.
Oh, and that's really great, because a lot of people just don't want to give it to a group. They want to know that they're taking care of the cats that wander around their backyards, or taking care of the military, or taking care of the police, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
I've heard some real horror stories about some poor dogs that come back from the military, or even ones that retire from the police that don't have somebody to take them from there.
Yeah, and it's really sad. I'm a dog lover myself. I have 2 dogs myself, so I have a soft spot for animals in general, but, you know, with dogs, especially military dogs, and, you know, like I mentioned before, the Ventura Police K-9 unit, because, you know, they help us so much with all the crime that's in the city, and so they protect the guys.
Okay, now where did your passion come from to even get involved in something like this?
Well, I've always had animals growing up, whether it was a frog or a turtle or, you know, a dog. So growing up, we've always had animals. And, you know, I think animals, people that love animals always have a soft spot in their heart.
You know, we got to speak for those that can't. Right.
Yes.
All right, we got about 40 seconds. Anything else you want to say to the audience out there?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Come check out our thrift store at 601 Mobile in Camarillo and come shop.
All right, great. It's really a pleasure to have you here today, Marvin.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here.
All right. My name is Bob Taylor. I've been your host for this segment of Our Ventura TV. I've been here today with my guest, Marvin Fisher, with the Herman Bennett Foundation. Until next time, thank you very much.